Welcome back, my enlightened ones. It is I, for Winds Cat. Welcome back to my home. Welcome back to my space. So happy to have you guys all here with me. I can't talk already. Ha ha ha. So I will be mispronouncing words tonight. So I'm just throwing that out there right now. I will be sharing a couple of incidences that we had with a form of a swang, which is what tonight's class is about. It was a flying demonic thing. In fact, my friend Mike Sangelo, who's here in chat, was also on the case with us. We actually did an exorcism and a home cleansing. Anyway, so I will be sharing a story on that. So let me say hello to everybody. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Adam and Vincent and Angie and my beautiful modest Jasmine and Sarah's in here. And like I said, my best friend Mikey and Chris and Natalie. And I think I got everybody. And anybody else who stumbles along the channel later on, you're just as valuable. You're just as important. So welcome, welcome, and thank you. You make me all that I am. Yay. So anyway, um, so this is going to be a nutty class. Just to let you know too, I'm a little disheveled. I've been cleaning and putting doorknobs and changing locks and everything else. So I'm a little beat today, so forgive me for the appearance. And plus, I had a friend, my best friend Tina, my other Tina friend, came up today and took me out to lunch. We met in kindergarten, and here's that synchronicity. This is kind of crazy. We both were walking to school first day of kindergarten, and she was wearing the exact same outfit I was. I remember it was brown pants with brown and white striped shirt with a Winnie the Pooh on the breast. So anyway, she had the same outfit. So the funny thing is that we walked to school and then we decided to walk home together. We found out that we lived on the same street. I lived on the first house and she lived on the last house on the same side of the street. So that's kind of crazy, that synchronicity that comes into play into our lives. Court of Madness, welcome, welcome, my friend. Um, so it's just kind of crazy how it just kind of everything happens. So we have been friends, what, 45 years? Yeah. Not showing my age there. So this is going to be a enlightening class. But the first thing I want to do before I just dive into the class, okay, I want to put the intent out there. We will be talking about these beings, and I do not want them because they're in an astral realm and they can appear and say peekaboo whenever they want. So I want to call in all the angels, Archangel Raphael of the East, Michael of Fire of the South, Gabriel of the West of Water, and Uriel of Earth. Of the North. So I wish to call them in to protect us and everything. So again, this is just for educational purposes. I'm not can't talk anything into my house or your house as well. So just put that intent out there because safety first, very important. So let's see here. So I just drank some Pepsi. I was actually yawning and falling asleep. It's like, oh, good God, I can't do this. So I get a cough. Sorry, my apologies. So let's see here. So if you look up in the little corner over here, that is an Aswang. It's spelled Aswang, but they pronounce the A as an O, so the Aswang. So basically what it is, it's an umbrella of, I think it's 5 or 6 demonic entities that fall under this umbrella of the Philippines. So these are who we're going to be talking about tonight. Excuse me, I'm going to mute my mic just for a second so I can. Yes, gracious. So how is everybody tonight? Everybody doing good? So this is going to be kind of spooky class. So the Swang, here we go. Hide my face. There it is. So the Aswang, it's usually female, and we're going to find that out tonight. There's a couple of them here. We're going to be learning about the one that has no legs. You can actually see her there with the wings. We will be learning about her tonight. So as I said, the Aswang is an umbrella term. It's a generic term applied to all types of witches, vampires, here's that word, mononagals, shapeshifters, were beasts and monsters. The original definition referred specifically to a ghoulish were-dog, and I do have a picture of him, which is where the word comes from, aso ong, the dog in Tagalog. So that's what that means. They are shapeshifters. They have the ability to shift shapes. Before I get too deep into this class. I will be talking about how some of them eat babies. So if you get a little squeamish, I can put I'm getting ready to talk crazy stuff. So anyway, if you don't want to pay attention to that part, but anyway, so this is one of the things that they're actually known for. Um, so let me jump over the comments, make sure I got this fly, and I've been so nice to it, trying to let it live in, but I think there's going to be a sacrifice tonight. Just kidding. All right. So the Aswang, the Philippines, have their variety of horror stories. I put this back up for you. Philippine folklore is filled with mythical and mysterious beings. It also never lacked for scary monsters that gave many sleepless nights. Okay, the Sigbin, there's a word, Sigbin, is a wolf-like dog. Let me go find him for you. Where are you, little buddy? Okay, so here's one of them. Yay. So he's a wolf-like dog, kind of like a werewolf kind of thing is what he is. And I do have another one somewhere, and I'll run across it later. But anyway, so these wolf-like dogs were with tails for heads, wolf-like dogs with tails for heads. So I guess Cerberus, sometimes you see him with snakes coming off his mane, and they have the snake head. So I'm kind of feeling that this is kind of a little bit. These things are backwards, and you're going to learn about that too as well. Their feet are on backwards, so there's a couple ways to actually figure out what they are, and we'll be going over that as well. So anyway, let me put something up for you here. So I'll put this one up. I know we already read this one, but I'll put it up for you. The Capri, or the dark giant beings that lived in old trees, okay, they were seductresses. This is called the Sigbin, the wolf-like dogs. The Duende, small elves that size of your thumb, who punish you with ailments if you so much as step on their tiny homes in the forest. As I said, don't piss off the fairies. I gotta get a drink, excuse me. Okay. So, but nothing is hair-raising as the stories about the Aswang, a shape-shifting evil entity that part vampire, part witch, part werewolf, wraps in one terrifying package. As I said, they're usually female. Hello, sexy broad. They are daywalkers. They can manage to walk during the day and actually look normal, and at night is when part of their power is to be able to walk through in the daylight as daywalkers. They can have families, they can have friends, but they change at a full moon. Oh, so it's kind of interesting there. If you're not easily scared, be forewarned, you might have trouble sleeping tonight. Here's everything you need to know about the scariest creature in the Philippine folklore. The aswang is an umbrella term for a variety of creatures. We'll go back to these guys. As I said, the term aswang can be thought of as a term for multitude of Filipino supernatural creatures. These creatures can be organized into 5 categories that parallel creatures from Western traditions. These categories are vampire, the self-segmenting viscera sucker. You're going to meet her. She's got that funny name. I'm going to tell you what that is. The weird dog, the witch, and the ghoul. So this, as I said, is coming from Filipino folklore. The Filipinos, many variations from language, cultures, as well as folklores. This is likely the reason why there are so many kinds of aswang stories. One thing is consistent. Aswangs are thought to inflict fear and pain at night. The different kind of aswangs, there are different types. We're going to talk about the tick tick. Let me put up the tick tick for you. We're doing the tick tick now. The reason why it's called tick tick, that is the noise it makes when it is coming for you. You hear it tick 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 tick. And also the walk walk, which is WAK, WAK. The walk walk. So the tick tick are shape-shifting elementals, that's supposed to be elementals, who can transform into animals, usually a giant bird, before they attack you. You will hear a faint tick tick from the distance, but don't let that fool you. If the sound of the tick 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 is loud, it means that the being is far away from you. But if it gets quieter, that means the creature is right behind you. So that's quite interesting there. Just reading, oh, you got a Filipino house. Oh, that's cool. No inviting these things in, please. So, let's see here. So the Aswang, here we go. They do take on the form of vampires as well. And let me just okay, let me read a little bit more. The tick tick and the walk walk, named after the sounds they make while hunting, these types of aswang shapeshift into large birds. I has those too. Hang on. Gonna find him here. So this is actually one of them here, this PNG here, the one that's up in the corner. That is actually one of them with the long wings. So it's kind of crazy. Here's another one. I wouldn't want to meet her in a dark alley. Um, so the aswang is probably the most popular elemento, as I said, in the Filipinos. They suck their blood dry from their prey. They can also change appearances and shapeshift into animals, usually a large bird, dog, hog, when they need to escape. So that's quite interesting. The Sigbin and the Zigbin, these are two other creatures. They turn into something like the Tasmanian devil. Yes. So here's my weird dog again. Ow! So there he is here. But they also said too that his tail is can transform as part of a head. So that's quite interesting there. So the Mananongo, a man-eating woman who severs its upper torso. This one I think is my favorite, and this is kind of crazy here. Let me find her for you. I have so many banners. And where'd you go? So here she is. So she detaches her legs from her body, and she actually will hide her legs. So that's quite interesting there. So here she is detaching her body here. I need to cough. It's so dry in here. So what she does is she sneaks in at night. Here she is, and she sucks your energy. They try to suck your blood. There's other beings too that are going to be you're going to learn about, and they are actually grave diggers. These songs can also turn into pigs, goats, and even dogs. As I said, they look like regular people during the daytime. Here they are. Unlike vampires, the Aswang is not bothered by daylight. In fact, it's a day walker. That is one of their abilities. Its powerful abilities to appear like a normal person during the day. The Aswang can walk amongst townspeople, unbeknownst to anyone that they're actually hunting for their food that night. That's creepy. So, anyway, so they can walk among you, and they're already looking for the next person that they want to unlive. According to mythology, during the day, Aswangs looked and act just like regular people, although they are generally shy and somewhat reclusive. They can have jobs, friends, and families. There's a catch, however. Aswangs are least powerful during the days, are least powerful during the day, so unlikely to harm you during the day. But come nighttime, they're ready to become a terrifying, shape-shifting beast. That's so pretty. So the aswang here, vampire fun facts. The aswang, the Filipino vampire, feeds on the unborn via unorthodox methods. Eerily, it clucks like a hen. So it actually clucks like a hen. So that's quite interesting there. Um, Jumping over to comments, make sure I'm live. You almost say kill. So anyway, so that's quite cool. Let's see. Here's another picture of a different Aswang. They have superhuman strength. The Aswang superpowers are on full force only at night. Once the sun goes down, their terrifying abilities are unstoppable. Here are some of their abilities. Superhuman strength. They like to eat hearts and livers. Here you go. They have the ability to trick people with their vocal cords. They will actually do what I call doppelganging. This actually has happened to Brandon a couple times in his house. He heard Sarah calling him from the attic, and when he went in here, Sarah was down here with me. So that's happened a couple of times. What I call doppelganging. Doppelganger is a German word, I believe, and it means a double. In the olden days, there was, I guess, a queen and her double came to the fence, and they were so fearful of these doubles because they thought it was an omen that they were gonna die after they see them. So what she did was is she sent out her guards to actually kill her so she wouldn't lose her life. So, yeah, some crazy, I'll put him back up. So there's some crazy beliefs here. Oh, as I said, they do hunt at night. Perhaps the most frightening thing about the Aswang is that because of its superpowers, its hunting skills are so efficient and almost undetectable. They are very good at what they do. They do like to prey on the weak, just as all most demons do. This is why I tried teaching you guys how to be responsible for your own power and everything, because this is what gives you the ability to fight these things. Perhaps the most frightening thing about the Aswang is that because of its superpowers, its hunting skills are so efficient and almost undetectable. As I said, the Aswang's hunting powers is almost as frightening as its ability to hide itself in plain sight. So here's the goat creature here. And there you go. So he actually just shapeshift into a person. So what they do is they hide themselves in plain sight. They often appear at funeral wakes or at the bedside of a pregnant woman to feed. So, yeah, they can actually try to feed on the fetus within the womb, which is really crazy, which is actually really sad too. I think that's really, really sad. So I'm trying to find another band. So that weird creature, the Menegal, is a Philippine mythological creature that detaches the top half of its body from the bottom half. The torso uses the sheer force of anger to survive, while separated from its legs. And here I said here, and like I said, they wait around, especially around pregnant women, to feed off of them. The Aswang's hunting prowess is almost as frightening as its ability to hide itself in plain sight. As I said, the Aswang has all the capabilities of a lethal and effective killer. It can shapeshift into different creatures and objects, appear like an average person by day, and has a super strength of overpowering its victims. It is no wonder it's the most feared monster in Philippine mythology today. So, I do have an actual picture of one. It's the one without the legs, if it's not photoshopped. But again, it kind of just gives you an idea of what it would look like. Gotta go. Love you. I love you, sweetie. Have a good night, Jasmine. Thank you for showing up. Um, Anyway, so I have bugs flying around here. Those aren't fairies. So, the other thing that they have is I'm gonna keep moving on. In Filipino folklore, swags usually take the female form as they appear as human beings. So here is the female form. In some cases, they are even described as beautiful with long black hair and angelic faces. However, you can tell they are swangs from their bloodshot eyes. Their bloodshot eyes. And if you can see below their long dresses, they walk with their feet backwards. And I think I can pull this one up here. If you kind of look, her feet in the back there are backwards. Um, yeah, that's interesting. So let's read this one. So this is kind of interesting. They actually create what's a golem. You've heard me talk about a golem before. Fairies will do it. The bad fairies, they'll take your baby and they create things out of the elements of the earth and then put magic to it and put it in the cradle. And the baby will start to, as the magic fades away, the baby you think is dying, and then you end up burying the baby, and then the bad fairies have your baby. Well, this one, this kind of, and like I said, it's kind of weird how I like learning about different cultures and how they kind of had some of the same beliefs. The Aswang disguises itself as an ordinary human and shapeshifts as an animal by night. The original definition of the Aswang is the eater of the dead, and the name is applied also to witches, vampires, monogals, and shapeshifters. These monsters do not only steal corpses, but they also steal living people. They abduct a victim and create a copy of the person by using banana stalks and grass called talahid. Once the copy of the victim gets home, it gets sick and dies after a few days, just like the changeling. The Aswang needs to eat every full moon, and they usually eat the livers and hearts of their victims. And they're also known for drinking human blood and eating the unborn babies from the pregnant women. Yum, yum. Okay. They appear in a variety of unpredictable forms, including as animals. No matter which animal form it takes, the aswang will differ from a regular animal in various disturbing ways. Most aswangs have long proboscis tongues. I have that too. Hang on. Hey, Bridgie, give me the tongue. That doesn't sound right. No. You can actually see one in here in this picture here, the long tongue, and here. So you can kill these beings, but you need to stab them in a certain place, and I'm going to tell you where that is, like a video game. If not, they use their tongue. This healing powers in their tongue, and if they lick their wounds, they can actually come and fix themselves. So this is the one that actually digs up graves. And also eats rotting corpses. Most swangs have long proboscis tongues and are frequently described as walking with their feet backwards. They have also been depicted as being so thin they can hide behind bamboo posts. Determining the true identity. And a swang may be hard to detect, but it doesn't mean it's impossible to tell their identity. Here are a few signs. Like I said, we got the bloodshot eyeballs. And let's see here. Oh, yeah, I'll show you that one in a second. So we have the bloodshot eyes. Your reflection in your eyes is upside down. So if you're looking into their eyes, instead of you being upright in the reflection in their eyes, you're actually upside down. So that's interesting here. As I said, they steal and they eat babies. So not good. That's why I actually put a warning on this class. They have a weakness for bright light. They hate loud noises. So if you really want to tick them off, they do feed on the weak. They go after children, as they do babies and pregnant mothers and so forth. So the dogs, cats, and pigs with no tails, that's another way that you can discover them, is that they look like normal animals, but something's wrong with them. And it's funny, and it's almost the same belief. And when I studied about demons, one of the beliefs is that a demon cannot take on a perfect human form. Always look for the deformity. The deformity is usually in the eyes, but you can have a withered arm, you could have a withered leg or whatever. So it's kind of the same thing there. So yeah, we did him. Okay. So killing the aswang, here we go. Scratching noise is heard from the rooftops and walls is usually a sign that the aswang is nearby. Countermeasures. Okay, for centuries, Filipinos have come up with the countless countermeasures to protect themselves from the aswang. These countermeasures are practiced by different cultures, each depending on a cultural, religious, and symbolic significance. People use a special anti-aswang oil. I want some of that. So, yeah, they use an anti-aswang oil, so that's quite interesting. Excuse me. Let's see here. Because the aswangs are known to feast on fetuses and cause miscarriages for women, there are various countermeasures carried out to protect the wife and the unborn child. The man of the house should walk naked. I just want you to see my face. Walk naked. Yes, gonna walk naked around the house, waving a bolo. A bolo is a machete. It's a really long knife. So waving that bolo for traditional Filipino sword. Additional bolos should also be placed between the spaces of the bamboo floors so the aswang's tongue cannot penetrate through the floors. So you want to put the knives under the floors so they can't stick their tongue up under the floor, say under somebody's bed, and feed off of them from under the floor. So the cryptids, if you look here in the Philippines here, you can actually see where the Aswang, the most popular places for the Aswang are by the lines going this way, like the top portion over here, and then you have the Sungi, which is down below. So let's go back to the TikTok for the minute. The myth of the Aswang is well known throughout the Philippines, except for these are the hard words. The Ilocos region, which is the only region that does not have an equivalent myth. It is especially popular in the Western Visayan, I guess, religions such as Capiz, Oleo, Negros, Boho, Masbate, and again, my apologies if I'm mispronouncing these. Aklan and Antique. Other regional names for the Aswang include the tick tick and the wak wak, and that's because of the sounds that they make. Here is the beast. This is the one we're going to be talking about tonight because this is the one that would actually followed us home from a case. So we're going to talk about this one in a second. So I'm going to leave that up there for a minute. Killing the Aswang, there are various ways you can kill the Aswang. Fire. The monogles. Here we go. Where's my monogles? You know what? I'm going to show you a picture of one in true form here. So you can actually see here, this is in the Philippines. You can actually see it in the distance, but there is, I do have a closer picture of it. You can see it has no damn legs, but again, it could be Photoshopped. So I'm not saying this is a real thing, but we're going to run with it because it's just fun to have visuals. The knife wound, but not just any knife wound. The Aswang's most vulnerable spot is in the middle of its back. So that's very important to know. So in the middle of its back. Any other area can be healed by itself using its long tongue to lick the wounds. A bolo is preferred and it must be buried in the ground after killing the aswang. The other thing is that you have to cut it up into itty bitty bits and put the bits as far away from each other as you possibly can. Magical prayer. An aswang can be reduced to its weakest state by magical prayer. Once it's at its most vulnerable, it must be cut into pieces, with each piece thrown away as far apart as possible. Sprinkling salt. You guys laugh at me when I talk about salt all the time. There's power in that. So, again, these are all, don't get caught up in the names, guys. There's different forms and there's different names. But again, like I said, as you can see, as I'm pulling over from other classes, the myths in the beliefs in the darkness and the light and all these things that they kind of play out in every culture. They just have different names and so forth. The Like its story, the history of the word aswang also varies depending on which area of the Philippines. In Filipino language, the term aswang may have been derived from the aswang, meaning dog, because aswangs usually take the form of a dog. In the region of Cebu, this is a main part in the Philippines. The term wak wak, that's W A K, but it's pronounced wak, is associated with the aswang. The term comes from the cry of the night bird. Wak, wak, wak. The cry of the night bird. So it makes that noise. So I like to look at this picture. Historical background. Stories of the mythical Aswang date back as far as the 16th century when the first Spanish conquerors, this is kind of crazy, the story I'm going to share with you now, recorded stories in writings. Due to the Philippines' different cultures, the stories and origin of the Aswang vary from island to island. These are the islands. The Gugarang and the Aswang, okay. The Gugarang, this is actually a good god. Good god. And again, this is that balance. You got the dark and you got the light. So the Gugarang is a god in Filipino and he lives in a volcano. Okay, so kind of like Pele in Hawaii. So that's quite interesting there. One particular famous origin story comes from the Bicol region. It tells the story of gods Grugang and Aswang. The tale is usually good versus evil. Is the narrative here. The explorers noted that all of the monsters in folklore, the Aswang was the most feared by the native people. One of the most famous origins of the term the Aswang came from the Aswang's tradition of the Bicol, that's Bicol region during the 16th century. The Bacals, of the people that live in Bacal, believed in God named Greglain, who was the good god that acted as the beneficent of the region and the defender and guardian of their homes, and the protector against evil and the god Aswang. So the Aswang, however, was an evil god and rival that who attempted to always cause harm to the Gregorlane, yeah, and found pleasure in doing so. The Gregorlang was also praised by the Bucalanos. Wow, these words are killing me. And the Swang shunned and was cursed to go away. So they used to say prayers and so forth. Um, Another belief here, as I said, it hunts at night. I'm just trying to see if it's any more pictures. I haven't shown you. Oh, that's the one you texted you. So killing the Aswang, that's interesting. The legend of the Aswang have a scientific and psychological background. Now, I thought this was very interesting, and this is why I'm putting it in the class. When the Malay people migrated to the Philippines in the 13th century, they brought with their own set of culture and supernatural beliefs. The Malaysian folklore in the Penanggal holds many similarities to the Aswang. During the day, the Penanggal, I have a Penanggal here. Look at this creature. That's creepy. Will appear as a normal woman, but when darkness falls, her head will detach from her body, trailing her internal organs behind her as she hunts for food. I bet that's quite messy. So, the Penanggal will seek the homes of pregnant women waiting for their child to come into this world. Then she will strike with a long, invisible tongue to feed on the blood of the newborn as well as the mother. So the Spanish propaganda. Now, I thought this was interesting. Vid historians believe that the tales of the Aswang were simply twisted pre-colonial propaganda by Philippines and Spanish colonies. Now, you're going to find out why it always seems to be a female, and this is why. The Babylonian was a female spiritual leader in the pre-colonial Filipino community. She was an important figure who was responsible for healing the sick. So the Babylon, excuse me, is a form of shaman, if you understand. For healing the sick and communicating with spirits. Again, a form of shaman. When the Spaniards came, they spread propaganda attaching the stories of the Aswang to the Babylonians' practices. The people would go to the Babylonian for treatment of diseases, so the Spaniards, in order to get their clients from to take their modern medicine, would attach evil to the shaman. They would tell them that the shaman's evil and scare them. And again, that's scare tactics. I don't like that. So, and scare them away from the shamans that were actually in turn were actually helping them. Local women led nightly attacks because they had no modern weapons. The Spaniards then told the local natives that the women were evil, that they performed magical acts. Now, this is funny. What does this sound like? The Salem witch trials? Again, you can kind of see how it plays out in different cultures. And these women were the Aswang. The natives avoided these women, and now they had no one to join their upheavals. So the Spaniards just scared them. Why is she always female? I'll put her back up here for you. Why is she always female? The Filipino culture always maintained women to be dainty and quiet and very prim and proper. Strong women are deemed unnatural. They are also a threat to the Spanish religion authorities. In human behavior, when people perceive that you act differently or strangely, they often think there's something wrong with you. There's lots wrong with me. This is the reason why people are often perceived as the aswang. So when people see strength in a woman, it's not seen as ordinary in Filipino culture. That's why they're labeled the aswangs. Today, the stories of the aswangs no longer inflict as much fear as it used to. However, in the most rural parts of the Philippines, many Filipinos are still convinced of its existence. Um, I gotta read something to you here. And as they still perform rituals to carry on defenses against the Aswang nightly, they are specific areas in the Philippines that are infamously associated with the Aswang. So these are the words: the Capiz. It's a province in the Philippines located in the western Visayas region, has been dubbed as the hometown of the Aswang. So I think I don't know. It's going the wrong way. I just want to pull up the map real quick because I'm wondering if it actually shows it on the map. So Capiz, Capiz. Do you see anything new? Anyway, interesting. Okay. The town has been linked to the Aswang for a long time, with its long history against the Spaniards playing a huge part in this. It has been the center of national and international interest. People would even go to look for the Aswangs. The origins of the Aswang, however, may be a bit closer to home for some scholars. The Aswang may be simply be representation of the opposite values in the Philippines hold that Philippine the Filipinos hold dearly. Aswangs are traditionally described as one-dimensional monsters inheriting evil. I'll put him back up because I want to talk about him in a second. Harming and devouring other creatures. Their overtly evil behavior may be described as an inversion of traditional Filipino values. Traditional Aswangs have no bias when selecting their prey and will not hesitate a target um, and target their own kin. So they'll go after family members. An inversion of the traditional Filipino value of strong kinship and family's closeness. The swangs are described to be unclean and favor raw human meat, to contrast the value of cleanliness and the cooked spice flavored food found in traditional Filipino. So basically the myths of these beings is everything that the Philippines, it goes against all of their beliefs, that women are prim and proper and that's why they're female, that if you act weird then you're in a swang, and same with the food. Their food is very spicy and it's actually a pretty good diet, but these guys prefer the raw meat and no herbs. Perhaps this is why the stories of the Swang are so ingrained in Filipino children's childhoods. That's one way to get your kid go to bed. The Swang's coming for you tonight. It's a way of teaching your children the values of the country prides itself, and the reason why, even to this day, it continues to be an integral, elaborate taken from the granted part of the Filipino way of life. Okay, I think, did I read this one? Yes, I read that one too. Okay, so we're going to come up to this one. I'm going to jump over to comments real quick. So, same thing with the Christians doing since the death of Christ. Yes, those Christians got to dip their toe in everything. So, we did a case. My friend Mike, that's actually here in chat tonight. Sarah Sinister, which on Sinister Stream, she has her own channel. We actually have the exorcism on her channel. If you want to go check that out, it's called Madison Madness, I believe. The Evil or something. Sarah, put it in chat. You'll know. Oh, I hear something out my window. Speaking of the Aswang. So let's see here. Yeah, so what do you think of this creature? Trailing her intestines behind. That's not spaghetti. so so back to this dude. So what happened is we finished a case in Madison and I went home that night. Mike went home. I dropped him off. I dropped Sarah off at her house that she was living with her boyfriend. And I gotta take this down for a second. And the weird thing is that the steps to the house were separated this much from the house, and the steps went up to my hip. Okay. So the light wasn't on and I had Alice actually in my hands. We were bringing her back. Oh, I think it was another case. Yeah, I know it was Madison, but I think this was another case because why would I have Alice with me if it was the Madison case? So I know this thing came from Madison. So I had Alice in my arm and I came and I was helping Sarah bring her stuff in the house. And when I turned to step out, my foot went sideways and I went all the way up to my crotch. I got one leg down and the other leg up. I threw Alice into the bushes, flying Alice. I felt so bad. And actually ended up tearing my rotator cuff, so that was quite interesting. So, but the creepy part was, this is the real creepy part. I got in my car to go home, okay? I felt in eh, I felt something flying over my car. It had these big, huge bat wings. It was flying over my car, and all of a sudden, it's like I ran over a log in the road. Okay, something went in front of the car. I didn't actually see it, but it's like I ran over a log. That's how pronounced the boop was when I went over it. And then I felt energy come up through my chair in my car, and it actually I could feel it coming through the seat at me, and it just freaked me out because they like to attack you when you're alone. So anyway, I just cranked the music and went home, and that was the end of it. But now my friend Julie, that's usually here in chat, and we actually had a get together, and we were going to her house, and this was a weird night. I was actually stopped by Hannaford's with Sarah and my other friend Tina to pick up a dessert to bring over, and I got an orchid from my friend Julie. She's an amazing person, and we were going over, and we were out in the parking lot walking to the grocery store, and both Shane and Sarah said, "Did you see that?" And of course, I missed it. I'm blind to everything. They actually saw this bat-like thing flying. Now the story's going to get interesting. Now, I went inside the store, and was really weird. I had a woman come into the store and made a direct beeline for me, and she walked up to me and she says to me, "May I hug you?" And I'm a lovely person, so what the hell? Sure. This was before COVID. So I gave her a huge hug, and she actually whispered into my ear, "Keep shining your lights." I actually feel that this was angelic. She saw just, it was just amazing. So, needless to say, that was that. But then went over to Julie's house. I was actually psychically attacked, majorly psychically attacked at Julie's house. So this is quite interesting. When we got to Julie's house, we all went inside, and my friend Tina came in later. Okay. When she came in later with her car, she came into Julie's house and said, "I just saw the damnedest thing outside." I said, "What'd you see?" And she said, "I saw this thing with bat wings, and it's up in the tree, and it's climbing through the trees, and it's watching us." So here's another picture. And it's actually watching us. So in Julie's house on the second floor, she has little sky windows there. And I was actually underneath one, and there was another woman that actually travels all around. She was doing a magazine article on us. And she was traveling around, but she doesn't practice, protection, and she's always bringing back artifacts and everywhere she goes. So anyway, she had something attached to her, and I really believe that this was something else that actually attacked me through the window. All of a sudden, I just got like a wicked panic attack, and it takes a lot for me to flip out. And it's like I just, that doom and gloom feeling. You know how, like I said, they project that energy at you, and it's very frightening and it's very scary because they throw it at you, and and if you're not paying attention, you think it's your own panic attack. You think it's your own self doing this when it's not. It's actually you being psychically attacked by something. So that was kind of crazy. So anyway, those are my two stories I wanted to share with that. But yeah, so we had this thing that was flying around us. I think about 2 weeks or so. I just ignored it and just kept doing my Reiki stuff and my energy work, and it went away. It was just pissed because I removed. Like I said, I did an exorcism, and I removed some of the stuff that was trapped on these teenage girls that were playing on a bunch of Ouija boards and doing a bunch of other stuff. So anyway, this is quite interesting. So I just wanted to share that. So look for your dog man. Look for the goat creature. The goat creature supposedly has no horns on his head. Another way, there's always something wrong with the animal that you see. Remember that. So look for the Panagalin. That's the one that carries her entrails behind her everywhere. The Tick Tick monster. You can actually, he looks like a vampire sucking thing. So there he is again. There's the Tick Tick. As I said, they do feed upon the weak. I'm just blowing through these real quick just to make sure I got them all for you. As I said, they do hunt at night. The tick-tick is a creature with the form of bird, bat like human. It's similar to the wak-wak, the common Filipino term. Both are winged like humans who at night search for their victims. Their hunger for flesh and blood, especially for fetuses. Tick-tick look like harpies, and both name after the sound they create. According to the myths, one cannot hear the tick tick when they are very near, but others state it when it's very loud when it's further away. So it's just, um, I've had things in this house where I'll hear it talk to me, and Sarah can be 2 feet away and she didn't hear a damn thing. So these things can let you hear what they want you to hear. Pull up this picture again so you can take another gander at this one. I forgot to show you this one. Here's another one. Um, and there's another one there. And I think I blew through them all, so I just wanted to make sure. Did I get this one? Oh, the swans are shapeshifters live among their human neighbors and carry on a regular life. At night, they morph into various creatures in order to hunt their prey, mainly young children and unborn fetuses, which they suck out and devour directly from the mother's womb. That's not very nice. And as I said, they are day walkers. And again, look for the redness of the eyes. They are shapeshifters. So basically, I've been through them all. And I just want to share this little poem here that I have, and then we'll move on to the bone casting. I thought bone casting would be appropriate because they're digging up graves and they're eating the flesh and bones of people, so why not? Make sure my cats all have tails and ears and crap. You're funny. Um, so the poem, here it is. The Aswang, they tried to kill this shapeshifter for years, but it seemed they can't figure this creature. It gave this peaceful town unending fears, unknown to all this could be my teacher. Who would have thought its entities human, dressed in white with dusky lady in church? He put smiles to heart of every woman. These creatures must be burned alive with a torch. A swang's what we name here in Philippines, a mythical creature who was most feared, who loved to eat cuddly babies and teens. They have lived among us, blended and scared. Sometimes they may see flying in the sky, dripping, and sometimes in someone's rooftop drooling. So that's it. So that's my swan. So my friend Mike here, who's in chat, he actually gave me this box. It was in his dad's. They used to have a pawn shop, and I actually, this is all wood burnt by me. I drew it and wood burnt it, so it's kind of pretty cool. So, but anyway, I couldn't think of a more lovely box to put my lovely things in. Okay, I'm getting rid of my notes because I'm going to be dropping my camera down here in a minute. Um, My friend Mike also he gives me everything. This was his dad's. It was on his bedpost as he was passing and stuff. This is called the scapula. It's supposed to show your devotion towards Archangel Michael as well as Mother Mary and so forth. Hello. I think that's just dust. Okay, so taking out my mat. I might have to sneeze. So I'm gonna drop these down. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pop my camera. I'm gonna prop my camera. Give me 1 second, guys. We always have these issues. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to move my mousey over here, and I think I'm going to move my Metatron's cube. Now, I wanted the Metatron's cube, and this is really cool, is actually just taking your cup of soda or whatever you're drinking and putting it on there. The frequency of the Metatron's cube actually goes into the drink that you're actually drinking and changes the molecular structure of the water. So when you drink it, you're actually raising your frequency. So I use this for everything. So just saying. So next week, as I said, we're not going to have a class because I do have to have a couple teeth taken out. I'm losing the rest of my wisdom. But gotta move my bug. And the following class, we are doing witch bottles. And I'll explain what witch bottles are in a moment. So it's a form of protection, so that's kind of cool. So we have Mon here, okay? And I got my selenite. Gonna get that out of the way. And we have these guys. And then my kitty bones. Meow, meow, meow. And then my spine. I'm saving that one for when mine finishes collapsing. Can you put this in, Doc? And the hip bone is connected to the leg bone. Okay, and there we go. Another vertebrae. My jaw. I'll have to steal some of those teeth for me. And my other bones. And can't forget the tooth. And the make a wish. Okay, I think the box is empty, guys. So I'm going to jump over back to chat so I can see comments. Here we go. So let's do Court of Madness first. Court of Madness. So what I want you to do is put a thought or a question into Mon here. Concentrate on him, and I'll drop some bones for you and see what we get for a reading. If you want to give it a go, Court of Madness. If you're done counting your kitty tails. Okay. So moving on in. Okay. Court of Madness. Are you ready? Okay, super. Okay, so the ones that are upside down, I'm automatically going to get them out of my way. Bye-bye. Okay, so we have now this one's interesting here because it's just right on top. This is partnership, friendship. I think you've gotten that one before too, Court of Madness. So partnership and friendship is what that stands for. That is also protection. So that's interesting, and it's right. So have you been practicing more protection, psychic protection? Because that's what I'm kind of getting off this bone. Now it's funny because you got the wish here and you got the heart facing right into that. Your heart chakra has been blown wide open. Have you noticed that? Your heart chakra. You may actually, and this actually happens, I think this has happened to Natalie, if you don't mind me sharing, Natalie. Sometimes you get chest pains, and by all means, go to the doctor. But when they eliminate that there's nothing wrong with you, it's usually the heart chakra just opening up more and letting in more light. There is like I said, when we transform ourselves and go up in energy, it can create body aches, what I call ascension sickness. And one of the things can be shortness of breath. It can also be pains in the heart area, also heart palpitations and so forth and so on. But again, by all means, go to the doctor. So we have this here, and this is growth, and it's like right up against you. So this is showing me a lot of spiritual growth that's going on with you. Thank you, Natalie. This shows me a lot of spiritual growth. That's, I don't know if you've been meditating more, or again, things work with us when we're sleeping, and they drop that veil of amnesia so we can't remember the dream and whatever they were teaching us. But again, it gets stored in our subconscious, so don't flip out about it. Oh my God, what did I don't remember? Um, Astral projection too can be another thing that can also start affecting you. I actually had a client that woke up and he was about this far from the ceiling. He was floating above his body, and it freaked him out. And then by him being scared and stuff, it instantly pulled him back into his body. So you can have weird things that do happen. So we have the wish here that's coming true here. Um, and we have, let's see here, we have, so this is constraint, patience, omens, stress, and obstacles. But I'm not seeing it as so much as a block. Um, This bone that's laying here, though, this is growth and stuff. So there could be like a little tiny bit of a block here, but I don't see it as a major block at all, Court of Madness. So I wouldn't be, because this is opening here. This is opening up. This is Kanu opening up more psychic ability. You got love going on here. And again, that heart chakra. So that totally makes sense to me there. And then you have journey, career over here, freedom and potential. So that's a good thing there. And you got the end. But again, now 6 months would be out here. This is immediate. So I know you said whatever the universe wants to provide for you, but this is showing me that something that you've been wishing for or that you've been trying to manifest into your life is coming in very soon, if it has not happened already. Also, too, this is movement over here in love, and that's going on here. Now, I'm going to read this one that is actually facing towards the skull. Um, so the one that is actually facing towards the skull is willpower of the self, divine energy, and so this, like I said, the Trinity, that's divine energies for me. And also to this is your willpower of the self. So this can help. This you can call on this, like say if you're trying to get over an addiction, maybe alcoholism or even smoking cigarettes, or anything along that line. You can actually call in that willpower within yourself. And again, this is growth, and this is an opening of a gateway here, and it's just right on top of you. Now this is weird. I've never had it land that way before. It landed on the dark side, and this tells me that there's still a little bit of shadow work, but it's not facing towards the skull. This part is facing towards the skull. So I'm going to see that as, and it's pointing out. So I'm seeing that as you've been working on your shadow self, and that is actually starting to manifest because, and it's funny because this if it landed this way, this means negative stuff and bad things that are kind of karmic crap. But it didn't. It landed this way, which is your spiritual helpers. This is angelic to me. So, and where this all fell together. So, willpower, your angelic, opening up gateways, something that you wish for is about to come into fruition if it hasn't already. There is a little bit of a gateway here, a little block, but again, it's showing me that it's opening here. So I'm not reading it as a total block either. And this one right here would be journey, career, freedom, and potential. So that's that. Who wants to go next? Oh, where's my tooth? Did I grab my tooth? I didn't even see the tooth fall. Where's my, oh, there he is. Now, that's weird because the shadow self is directly underneath. This is showing me that it's not that you have shadow stuff that you're working on, that you need to do. This is showing me that you're doing the shadow work, whether you're doing it at night in sleep state, what I call actually wake state. But that's what I'm seeing there. So I had to look for my tooth. So who's next? Awesome. So, I know I'm not a big meditation person, so if I want to just raise my frequency, just listening to 528 hertz or 432 solfeggio, that's that miracle tone that I always talk about to you guys. These are lovely frequencies, and like I said, it changes the molecular structure in the liquid in your body, and it actually helps. So if you don't feel like meditating, just listen to music. Whatever feeds your soul. To find a romantic partner. Now it's funny because you had love that was coming to you, and maybe that's going to happen very soon for you. Court of Madness. Natalie, shall we connect with Mon over here? Had to step away. Welcome back, Adam. That's all right. I'm doing Natalie now, and then I can do you guys afterwards if you like. I got to do my friend Mikey too. So anyway, so with Natalie, Whispers of the Realm of Darkness, connect with Mon here. Just make sure I got my tooth. Nothing but the tooth. I might have to put it in after I'm done. All right. So here we go, Natalie. Ask a question, thoughts, whatever you need. Here we go. All right. So I was right in the eyeball. I'm taking this one away and I'm taking this one away because they are read upside down. Um, so so this one is partnership and journey here. I don't know if you were asking about a relationship that you're currently in or whatever, but it's showing a partnership. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a romantic partnership. It could be a business partnership, but I see a journey coming with that. This one is opening up love, and this is the Trinity as well, which is opening up more spiritual ability. So that's kind of cool too. And it was up this way. Now, this one's very interesting here. So this one is friendship, fortune, in optimism right here. That's this symbol here. Okay. And then we have the harvest in completion, which is this symbol here. So I'm seeing that you've just finished. It's almost like you had an initiation, so to speak, and that you've gone into the next step or the next process, possibly getting more spiritual gifts coming to you. And there's your journey. Again, you're on the E for enlightenment here. So this is showing me that you're doing a lot of shadow work, which I know you are, and I know that these things are actually working with you. Now, this is I'm actually it's weird. I'm getting a different feeling off of this tonight. I'm getting this as like Jesus Christ, or this is your soul family that watches over you. Is what I'm getting this because it's funny because it falls on the 777, which kind of means the same thing to me. So I'm taking these two as this is your ascended masters, this is your ancestors, this is your spiritual family, and they're helping you on that spiritual journey. And this is your movement here. Again, this is balance. This is the one that I added. There's that fly that must be sacrificed. So anyway, so this is balance here and in partnership. So that's cool there. And just almost looks like a Pac-Man. That's weird. I'm getting a gateway after that one too, and it's facing right at this way, and it's that balance in that this is going to help you. And again, the constraint or the thing that blocks you is behind a wall over here, which shows me this symbol here. This is also balance to me. So that's very cool. And this is flow here. So, and this is pushing that. It's almost like not saying you have an attachment, but it's you're pushing whatever was near you further away. And again, this landed on the light side. This is angelic to me. So all these beings and your ancestors and everything are actually helping you on your journey. Your wish, I'd say about 3 months out, 6 months, 3 months out. So your wish or something that you've been trying to manifest into your life is going to be coming to play. So, who is next? Who is next? Jasmine's left. So, Adam. Let's do you, Adams. Adams. Oh, and Mikey. Let me do Mike real quick. Let me do Mike because he falls asleep too or easily. And again, you have that enlightenment going on over here with the tooth. Mike, let's do this, and then I'll do you, Adam. Forgive me. Mike's not in here very often, and I forget, and I know he'll go to bed soon. All right, so here we go. Michael, you still here? Say cheese. He's probably gone to sleep already. Ah, there he is. Okay, Mikey, put the thoughts into the bones here and connect with Mon over here. You're very welcome, Natalie. Okay, so here we go. All right. So this one we're not going to read, and this one we're not going to read. Something that you're wishing for, that's 6 months out, Mike. And it's funny because you do what I do. You're actually, this is just showing me that you're fighting the darkness with love instead of fear. We have a tendency to fight darkness with fear and rage. And remember, rage is another form of fear. So all you're doing is feeding these entities. And in this case, Mike is using the love and his emotions. As I said, that your love and emotions is what controls the spiritual world. So this is what I'm seeing, Mike. He's healing something here. I almost feel like this is related to your daughter because we have the partnership going on over here in the journey that she's actually going on. And then we have the love and the movement and the flow, and it's coming towards you, Mike. So, and again, this is twice I've gotten this one. I'm actually getting your ascended masters and everything that is around you. This is friendship and fortunate and optimism. So, that's a really good one there. So I'm going to read this one. Let's see here. This is partnership and friendship. Um, so you got a lot of love going on here, Mike, too. Now, this is interesting because this landed upside down. And I gotta check down. I gotta stop hitting my computer over here. All right, so this one represents the self. So this represents you, Mike. So this is showing me that your ascended masters and everything are actually working on you, but they're helping you with personal issues in the family, is what I'm seeing with this. Because this one over here, let me grab a glass, is prosperity and heritage. That's your family. If that makes sense to you, sorry. I had to take a drink. Um, and again, you have partnership over here, but this is the balance coming into the family. And this is growth and mending and healing in the family. And I see movement going on with that. And it's funny because again, the 777, that's the angelic realm. This is your ascended masters. This is Christ consciousness. This is everything. And then you have the self here. And the light side is enlightenment, but I'm not taking that you have shadow work to do, Mike. And what I'm taking off of this is you're like I am. You're a dark worker. It's not just about working the light. It's also trying to transmute and help the darkness too. We have to heal these things. You can heal demonics. You can heal negative things. I have done it, and as well as my friends have. So anyway, there's not everything is a lost cause. You can transmute negative energy. Remember that. Very, very important to know this. So, and again, the wish for your family, for your daughter, Mike, 6 months out, and her life is going to come together and fall together as all should be, if that makes sense to you, my friend. Okay, Adam. Adam. Where my mousey? My mousey's falling asleep. All right, so Adam, let's do you, my friend. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So making witch bottles, that's going to be a fun class. So in the olden days, they used to make these witch bottles, and they believed that it kept away witches, but also kept away these Aswang creatures. You're most welcome, Michael. 6 months, my friend. Um, lost my train of thought. There it goes out the window. I do that a lot. So anyway, oh no, I dropped my bone. Uh-oh. I gotta go looking for it in the dark. In the dark. That's not it. Sugar. Sugar. All right. Dadnammit. Adam, think about your question for a moment. I need to find my bone. I need to have all my bones. These are the other ones here. I gotta go fishing. Hang on. My apologies. There we go. Bone, where'd you go? No. Ah, there it is. Way back here. It's taking off into the closet. All right. This is so professional. All right, so there we go. Got on my bones. All right, let's do this, Adam. So I try not to drop them this time. I'm gonna jiggle the table for a second. I got a hole in the middle and I don't want them to fall through it. Okay. So Adam, put a question into mine over here, please. Do I have my tooth? Yeah, there's my tooth. Okay. And I think we are ready to go. Here we go, Adam. Yeah, so basically pins, broken glass. If you I don't want you to break a mirror, but if you have broken mirror, anything with sharp edges, anything that's with got a shiny reflective surface, these are all the things that you're going to need for the witch jars. I'm making them. They're called witch bottles, but you can make them in mason jars, and that's what I'm going to be doing. So, Adam, oh, the tooth jumped out. Okay, so this seems to happen to you every time, Adam. These don't, they always fall upside down. So I'm going to remove all these. I don't need those. Make them go away. So again, you have the shadow self here going on, but again, I don't feel it's so much as shadow work that you have to do. You have that 777 again, your ascended masters, and everything is working towards you. And that's the Trinity over here and the balance of everything going on here. So this is more angelic. This is, like I said, you're getting new gifts, Adam, and they're making sure that you're heavily protected from that shadow stuff that can come in and kind of mess with our lives. So this one over here is journey, career, freedom, and potential. And you've gotten that one before too, if I remember right. So career, freedom, and potential. So freedom and potential. So let's get there. And but this one is kind of laying across that, and that's kind of interesting. So again, you have that partnership there. You always seem to get partnership too. And friendship is what this is representing here. So partnership and friendship and freedom. So I see more freedom coming into your life with your partnership, maybe with your husband Vincent. That we all go through the honeymoon stage in our marriage and stuff, and we seem to be uptight sometimes. And this, I feel, it's more laxed, and this is more getting each other and understanding each other, and just going up to the next level in that, if that makes sense there. Again, you have the love here, and that's opening with the growth here. So this is like your love life over here, and it's funny because it's making an upside down seven too. Seven's a very distinct numbers to me. Now you have your wish over here, but it's sideways. It's not actually pointing at you. And again, and I think you got this one last time, it's still like 6 months out. That's weird. I almost feel 6 months, probably 5 months out. I say it's a month closer to you. And then we have Kanu over here. And again, this is opening, and this is growth that we got going on here. Freedom, the flow, the balance is going on here. I feel that you've been doing a lot of yoga. I feel that you've been really opening up your power centers and your chakras in your body, and that's what I'm actually getting off of that. And that's the movement and the love that's coming off of that. And again, the shadow, it's not so much as that you have shadow work to do, as if you're learning a new gift. And funny thing is that they will pull you into dream state and give you nightmares. Archangel Michael gave me a nasty nightmare of all those demon clowns that were chasing me, that were in glass caskets, and they broke out. But again, they were teaching me my power and how to use my sword. I remember it distinctly. In fact, it was hit by a bolt of lightning, and I remember waking up from the dream and feeling that energy just coursing through my body for hours afterwards. Your body doesn't know the difference between real and Memorex. So you can actually, and that's why they say you can actually die in dream state. If you actually think that you've actually died, your body can actually go into the physical aspects of that. You've been getting horrible nightmares lately? Okay, so that explains, like I said, you have new gifts coming to you, and this is how they actually teach you, is to pull you into this. I had I had a doppelganger come to me, and it showed itself as my youngest daughter, Hannah, and it had a hoodie on, and I was probably a good 20 feet away from it, and it held its head down. Demons can't look me in the face for some reason. I don't know if my light hurts them. I don't know, but they can't look me in the face. And I instantly knew it wasn't my daughter, and I charged at this thing full force, and it ran off like a little child would run away from getting spanked. So anyway, so it's quite interesting. Now, and it's funny because when we first used to do these readings, you used to get the broken heart, and you don't have the broken heart here. Again, Adam, I did your tarot cards, and your tarot cards was all about love, and that's what I'm getting off of this, the love and the healing that's going on. But see this? It's on the dark side. This is your nightmares right here. So this is you learning in dream state, as I said. If you want to get a break from that too, Adam, don't be afraid. God gave you free will. Tell the angels, I need to take a break. I need to recuperate. Can you take away these negative feelings that I get from these dreams? They will do that for you. They understand that we're in human form, and they will give us a break and do what they need to do, because they don't want you to give up on this life and to keep going forward. So you can ask them to give you a break. Remember, it's about free will. Don't be afraid to ask for it. Give me a break. And they're lovely beings, and they shall do whatever you ask them to do, like I said. So anywho, um, let's see here. So basically, lots of love there in a nutshell. You got growth, you got prosperity going on over here. Um, gateway, this is your gateway. I see this is like a shamanism going on here. And again, that's seven, and then you have the 777 going on over here. These are your nasty nightmares. But remember, spray salt water or holy water, bless it. You're an ordained minister. You can do this. bless the water, spray it lightly around your bed. It's not going to leave spots or stains or anything. And just put it, you know, put extra protection on before you go to sleep. Another thing is listening. Try not to watch this time of year. I'm into horror movies. I'm a horror movie buff, and even then, I right before I go to sleep, I have to not watch a horror movie, or I can have. It's just opens things up and it lowers your frequency is what it does, and it makes you easier to pull you into that negative dream state as well. But in this case, like I said, Adam, this is you learning your shamanism. You're being taught, just as Natalie is, and just as Jasmine is, and we're all being taught. So that's really great. So, Chris, I know that you're going to be going to bed soon. Let me just do Vincent really quick, and then I'll do you after if you want, my friend. So, Chris, I'm going to gather my bones. If you want to connect, ask a question over here, whatever you want. And I'm dropping them. Here we go, Chris. You ready? Uh-oh, woo, that one went off the table. That one took, well, it is a cat leg. It went running. So we're not reading that one because it's off the table. We're not reading this one. We're not reading this one. All right. So this is a wish that is about 2.5 months out is what I'm getting off of that. So something that you've been wishing for, I'm not reading that one. Something that you've been wishing for is going to be coming into your life pretty soon. I almost see this as a new friendship, Chris, if that makes sense to you. You're a very lovely person, and you attract the light in others to you. And this is what I'm kind of getting from this. I have feeling that you're going to be meeting a new person very soon. Not reading this one, it's off the table. If it's more than 6 months out, I don't read it. Um, what I'm getting off of this here, I'm going to read you this one here in a second. But this one is, it can be a form of attachment. Attachments, what I call night of the dark soul. We all go through darkness because this is how we discover ourselves and learn our gifts. We have to go through what's called dark night of the soul. And I'm not saying that you have a demonic attachment. You don't have that, Chris. What I'm getting here is that you have, you're being taught right now. You're being taught as well. And part of this is to know we don't know our strengths unless we're fighting for something, okay? And this is kind of getting you to fight because over here you have the movement that is going with that as well. This one, and again, it's facing this way, which is an opening, which is a gateway going towards that. And I am reading this as love as well. That's on the top here. And it's funny because I'm getting motherly love off of that. And I'm getting your mom, and she's very close to you. I don't know if you've had some recent dreams of your mom, but she's showing me that she's very, very close to you. You're her dear child, and she's never going to abandon you, is what I'm getting off of that one. And again, this is the Trinity over here. This is the balance going on in love. Um, I've started doing some meditations. There's one that's called Healing by the Ocean, and it's just a frequency with singing bowls. And actually, it's just a frequency that you listen to with the sounds of the ocean. And they actually, because the ocean and water is very, very cleansing, and it can actually help remove lower frequencies from your auric field and help you feel happier and brighter, if that makes sense there. Again, this is partnership. Now, I got your dad over here. That's so weird. I see a journey with your dad. You're going someplace very soon with your dad. I don't know if you're going on a road trip somewhere soon. I almost see again like a ghost hunt or something going on. This is strength here. This right here, this symbol, this is strength. So you're learning your power, Chris. You got to know that life's not worth giving up on. You're going to have to come back and do it again. Who wants to go through the same crap all over again? Learn the lesson and move on to more beautiful things. Your family's waiting for you. They always wait for us until we get to the other side so we can regroup and be with them and do some healing, because that's what we need to do for ourselves to evolve as well. So you got friendship, fortunate, and optimism here. And I see movement in that. I almost feel like there's some happiness. You're going on vacation tomorrow. Okay, that makes sense to me. Okay, super. So thank you, Chris. So that makes total sense to me because I mean, look how close it is to you. So definitely, where you going? What you doing? Do tell. So, but this is strength over here. and this is opening, and there's that balance again going on. The shadow self, which is way, way over here, okay? This is telling me that you're doing some shadow work too. Doing shadow work can bring in depression. We actually think that we're mentally unwell, and that's not the case. Just depression. It's called Night of the Dark Soul. I actually did a video short on it. You can check it out on my channel called Night of the Dark Soul if you haven't seen it. It kind of explains what we go through. It's where you feel unattached, you feel disconnected from your family, you feel disconnected from God and stuff. And the reason why you feel this is because it makes us search. It makes us find what's going to make us happy. You need to find that passion in your life. If you love to draw, or you love to paint, love to write poetry, any of these things that do things that feed your soul, Chris. When you do these things, it's going to North Carolina, Nag's Head? Never heard of Nag's Head. Huh, North Carolina, that's quite a ways. Huh, that's awesome. Well, you gotta take pictures and you have to share with us. So anyway, so you got strength and you got opening over here. You got a little shadow work, and again, that's Night of the Dark Soul kind of going on there. And a wish of yours is going to be coming out in about 2.5 months or so. This is the shadow side of you. This is you dealing with the depression, and you can't let it take over your life. That's very important, and it's so easy to say these things. It's one thing to do it, but anyway, I'm always here for you, Chris, if you need to talk, sweetheart. So, did I do Vincent yet? Did I? I can't remember. My brain's dead. I've just been out straight for like the last week doing stuff, and it's like my brain is mush. I was not sleeping well at night. Um, I don't think I did Vincent. Let me know if I didn't do Vincent, because I'll do Vincent now. Nags Head, North Carolina. I'd love to see pictures. I enjoy your pictures, Chris, that you share with us. So, Vincent, did I do you? Adam, let me know if I did Vincent. I can't remember. I'm just, like I said. Oh, look, there's another one in here. No, that's what I'm here for, Vincent. If you want to, you don't have to if you don't want to. I missed that one that was in here. So this is patience, omens, stress, and obstacles. And that's what you're kind of dealing with right now, Chris, is going through some obstacles and trying to figure out where your happiness is. Remember, we look for happiness out here, and that's when it's wrong. You have to find happiness within yourself. You have to find it in your soul. It's that connection that we make with Source, and that we make with planet Earth, and that we make with our dear friends and our family. These are the connections that we're supposed to be making, and to sever that just gives you that emptiness and that loneliness. Vincent, let's do it. Vincent. He's stressed today. Oh, I'm sorry, Vincent. Yeah, that's where I find happiness too, is my animals and stuff. So we're not reading this one. We're not reading this one. We're not reading this one. What a mumbo jumbo. So we got the love going on here, but again, this is the Trinity. This is like spirituality, but trying to figure out what your beliefs are is what I'm getting off of that. And this is growth in that, in your spirituality, and your beliefs are slowly changing. Like I said, if you asked me 20 years ago if I believed in angels, I would have said, sure, I like to believe in them, but I don't know they're real. And here they are in my life and talking to me. So anyway, we change beliefs, and it's in, don't take it as, boy, was I stupid, or anything along that line. Remember, our beliefs are our reality, and that's just how it is. So don't let anybody else tell you what your beliefs are. And again, like I said, the opinions of this channel and everything I share with you are my opinions from my experiences and from the things that I've done in my life in that, in over the 30 years. But again, I don't expect you to believe everything I have to say. I just like to tell stories. I like to talk about the Aswang, and I like to talk about these beings that we didn't even know that were really out there, and whether they're out there or not. I think it makes the world a more interesting place to know that there's scary things out there, but that's just me. So again, you have growth going on here. You got that equilibrium, you got that balance going on here. Um, you got this going on here, and then you got the flow and love and movement and everything. So it's like there's a shadow with you, if that makes sense. Um, And what I'm getting off of this is I'm getting a physical shadow, if that makes sense. I recommend taking a salt bath. If you take a salt bath, that Vincent, that really is going to help taking that negative energy and that poo-poo feeling that you've been feeling all day. We're all in retrograde, I believe it is. I've had a hell week. Sarah's had a hell week. We've all had a hell week, and this fly's about to have a hell week, little dude. There'll be sacrifices. So anyway, just do things to raise your frequency a little bit. And again, you've got that sunshine going on over here. And again, I take that as a form of vacation or something. I don't know if you can take some time off from work, just you and Vincent, and do something just the two of you need to do and just have some alone time. I don't feel that you guys, I don't feel that you guys have a lot of, other than coming home at night, you don't have a lot of alone time as far as, maybe you watch a movie or something together, but I don't know. It's I feel like there's kind of a little bit of a block in you, Vincent, if that makes sense. And I'm seeing it over here because this is the opening over here, and this is the block here that's going on. And again, that spirituality is still kind of taunting or haunting you there. And again, you have the Trinity and the love of going on over here in the partnership. Um, I don't feel that this is an attachment. I just feel that it's negative energy that got carried into your auric field. This isn't anything that's going to attack you, Vincent. So please know that that's not how it's going to be. But just doing things, like I said, take a salt bath, put rosemary in it, put lavender in it, whatever you want that makes you feel good. And that will actually, I always feel 100% better after I take a salt bath because I do stuff and I can feel the ick in me as perfect as I try to be. It still pulls my energy down, especially when I'm tired or I don't get good sleep in this house. It pulls me down, and I do find that if I take a healing bath or a salt bath or even a walk in nature or do these things, it really, we have a tendency to get hung up in all our electrical stuff, Facebook and all the stuff that we do. We forget to live our lives outside in nature. And I'm saying this from my point of view because I do it too, because I'm too busy making videos or I'm too busy preparing classes and stuff. We forget that we got to take time to stop and smell the roses too. So you have the shadow self, which is directly underneath Mon here. Um, and again, I feel there's an inner battle going on with you, Vincent, that again, you're trying to figure the faith, you're trying to figure out what you believe in and what you don't believe in, and you're kind of tossing it back and forth, almost like a tennis match, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm getting off of that too. Then you have the journey going on over here. This is joy. So I do feel there's more joy very soon because it's very close to you, coming in. Again, I don't know if it's a vacation you're going to be taking in a couple of months. I know Christmas is coming, so maybe you're going somewhere for Christmas, so that's interesting. You got your wish coming through over here, and then you have the friendship, fortunate, and optimism here, and I feel that that is coming to you. About 3 months, there's gonna be a turn in you. I really do feel that, Vincent. So anyway, and like I said, you got openings going on over here, but I also get this spirituality thing going on here, and the partnership and the balance and the journey. So like I said, there's like an inner battle, and excuse me if I'm overstepping my lines. I just tell you what I feel, whether I'm wrong or right. This fly needs to go. Um, anyway, so forgive me if I stepped on your toes or said anything that was not appropriate. So I love you guys. Don't get mad at me. So who is next? Say me. Vincent, you're doing a great job, sweetie. We're all in the process with all the fear that's going on in the world. We're all in the process of trying to figure out who our true authentic selves are. So oh, I know. My room, I have a little crack in they come through the screen, even though the screen's on the window. So I got these like little tiny fruit flies buzzing around. But the flies, because I have to wait for the dogs. We have ailing dogs here, and it takes them a while to get in and out of the house. And so I have to hold the door open. Flies come in. Totally offended. Okay, super, super. Okay, so who is next? Michael, did we do you, my friend? Michael. Yes, we did you. Your daughter. Yes, I remember now. Gotta wake up my mouse here. Hang on. So, and I think Sarah's left the building, so I'm not gonna bother doing Sarah's unless she says hello. Okay. So if anybody else, I missed you, please just say hello down bottom and I will do another one. But for right now, I think I'm going to drop my pen, go up with my camera. Um, so the Aswang, that's a kind of crazy little cryptid family there that's going on. They say that it hides its legs in a special place, and because that's their weakness is leaving the legs behind. And if you can find the legs and salt it, that actually kills the one that's got the half body and the half whatever it is. So whether you believe or not, I'm just here to tell you my stories. So, which bottles? We're going to need a mason jar or any type of bottle that you want to use, but it has to have a big enough opening, so you're going to be shoving stuff in there, needles, pins, glass, maybe broken glass, anything that's got a reflective surface. You can put tin foil in there. In the witch bottles in the olden days, they used to put urine or menstrual blood in them. We're not doing that. Um, but we can put holy water in it. So this is how we're going to make these. So what you do with these bottles is you actually bury them 6 inches below the frost line if you live here in Maine. Out front of your front stoop or your back stoop where people come and enter into your house and it's supposed to keep away the darkness. So anyway, and that's how that one works. So I wish to thank you all for being here tonight, Adam and Vincent and Angie and Chris and Sarah and Court of Madness and Natalie and my beautiful friend Michael and anybody else who stumbles along. Again, you're just as important and we love to have you here. No class next week, losing wisdom. But the following week is the witch bottle. So that's coming up. It actually was supposed to be luminaries, but I'm pushing that to October. The reason why I'm doing that is because the leaves quite haven't changed here, and some of the luminaries I want to use colored leaves in. So that's the reason why I'm swapping. The witch bottles are going to be a lot of fun. And I actually have an old spell book, and I'll be sharing it with you. And we're going to look up witch bottles in it, and I'm going to read the ingredients, and you can see how dark and gory things were back then. So again, thank you all for being here tonight. Much love and light. And one more thing. Shine, shine, shine. Keep shining that light, guys. Much love. Have a good night. Bye, guys. See you there. Bye. Thank you. Did it go? Didn't end yet. Yay, there we go. Why doesn't it want it? Am I still here? Why isn't it ending? That's so weird. End stream.